Hi there, everyone. We are still on this series. We're on part 5 of the International Women's Day special. And this is our final video. Imagine it is. I know you're enjoying as much as I am. And I want to hear what your interpretation of this theme for 2020, which is each for equal. Sylvia, what's your interpretation of what it means?
I think it means everybody needs to stand up for an equal world, and everybody has a role to play. We need media coverage for you who are in the media industry or that is representative of the views of men and women. We need to ensure that our corporate boardrooms have an equal representation of men and women so that the voice of the woman can also be heard. Whether it's in our activities in terms of sports and the investment that we make, we need to, everyone needs to stand for a more equal world, because if we create a more equal world, then ultimately then we'll create a more enabled world and a more progressive world. And as I said earlier, you can't have half of the world's population not having their voice heard, right, which is women. They also need to be represented in other places where decisions are being made, where conversations are being held about how to progress humankind. So we must be well represented. So everybody, in my understanding, needs to stand for creating a more equal world. And that starts with how we bring up our children as moms. It starts with what we are doing in our own homes. It's not a conversation that is only held in the workplace. It's a conversation that starts with every thought, every action that we have to go through each and every day in all the places we find ourselves. Are we ensuring that we are propagating this view of creating a more equal world for everyone and a more inclusive world also?
Okay. So I want to slide into Safaricom now.
Yeah. And
just see what's the organization doing for women or encouraging women. I know there was a time, and forgive my ignorance, I'm not sure whether that's still going on, but there was an emphasis around getting more women suppliers.
Yep.
And you know, I remember when I saw that, I just wondered whether this is just PR. And do I need 100 million in assets, or can I actually be a supplier of Safaricom without filling 65 forms that I don't understand?
Yeah, you can be. We made a lot of concessions for the women, but you know, it started off from just the thought of we subscribe to the Sustainable Development Goals. There's one goal that speaks about gender equality, but then there's also, I think, goal 12 that speaks about reducing inequalities. And when we went back, and you remember I spoke about my passion for entrepreneurship, so I said, what could I do to be able to influence some of those outcomes within Safaricom? And when I went, I found we only had less than 2% of our suppliers being women-owned and women-led businesses.
Less than 2%?
Yes, less than 2%. And I mean, that's a bad statistics by any measure. And therefore, the conversation was, how do we create a lot more opportunities for women to be able to interact and do business with us? But it started off from, first of all, going to the root of why do we find ourselves in these situations? And you find that in the areas where we have our biggest spend, we have very low play in terms of women participation, whether it's in the space of technology or IT, where we are a technology company, so we spend a lot of money on network, on IT. We don't have enough women there. And now beginning to go to the women. So first of all, what we actually did was we did like an ad where we invited all the women who were interested in doing business with us to come in. Then when they came in, we asked them, choose the category you want to go to. And you find a lot more women fall into events, flowers, stationery, the easy things to do, but very few in the technology space. And then when you dig deeper, you find the level of confidence is not there. I don't think I know how to lay fiber, or I don't know how do I put up networks? How do I manage generators in your sites? And therefore, we set out on a deliberate program to build capacity within them, and started doing a lot more mentoring. And I really want to celebrate all the companies, male-owned especially, who said we are willing to take up a few women, tutor them, mentor them, coach them through this process. And inevitably then we began to increase the level of participation of women. But over and above that, we then made a deliberate decision as a company, because we needed to kind of make room, and how we made room was waiving some of the requirements. You said 65, they're not 65, but waiving some of the requirements for these women-led and women-owned businesses. We also then kind of gave preference even in terms of our scoring. during the tender process, just so that we can begin to see a lot more of them coming through. And there's now a lot more participation of women in different categories, something which I'm really proud of. I sponsor the initiative within Safaricom, and we are continuously seeing progress. And our target is that in the next 2 years, that 2% will have grown to 10%. We are halfway there, and I'm confident that we'll be able to get to that number.
Super, super. Wow. Before we go, I follow you on Instagram, by the way.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that increasingly you've got these exercise type videos or pictures that you've been posting. It's like you've gone into this craze about fitness. Yeah, yes. So tell me about that.
Oh, CrossFit. All right, so you asked me a question earlier around leadership.
Yes.
And I think for me, the way I look at it is I have an opportunity to be able to inspire my team differently through an unconventional way of trying to create a lot more team cohesion, inspire the right team energy. And I thought fitness would be one of it. And the reason why I did it is because personally, I have always wanted to be a lot more fitter and take care of my health and stuff. But I kind of have been oscillating over the years. But sometimes either I'm watching my diet, which is good, or the other times I am being fit and being disciplined about the gym, but then I'm not taking care of my diet. So I went to school sometime last year in the US. I took some time off to go study. And one of the case studies that we did in business school was CrossFit. And I found it amazing, just in terms of the way it was unconventional, how it was democratizing access to fitness, just even the business model, which Greg Glassman, who is the founder and the visionary of CrossFit, was running it. And that really kind of got me. But I just thought it was in the US and the rest of the world. I didn't think it was in Africa.
Oh, you didn't know it was in Kenya?
No, I didn't know it was in Kenya. Oh. So about 2 or 3 weeks later, I go for an event, and there's a fitness work stream, which I decide to attend. And I go and find all these guys who are talking about CrossFit and the CrossFit coaches. And they were from one of the CrossFit gyms here in Kenya called Kwetu. So began interaction, and then I said, okay, let me give this a try. I had heard so many things about CrossFit. It's aggressive. It's not good for women. They do weightlifting. They do gymnastics. And I was like, wow, okay. Actually, I think it's that challenge that got me. Okay. So I decided to start working out, and I got a great coach. We started working out, and within 4 weeks I could see dramatic differences. And the way CrossFit also works is that they have a lot of high intensity movements, but they also couple that, inspire you to do things that you never thought you could do before. Handstands, pull-ups, you know, really don't use machines, just work with your body weight. So that really kind of like really up my motivation levels. And then they also couple it with nutrition. So I began to see changes within my body within 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks. But even just the changes that I could see was just my mental state, and just my state of alertness, my state of believing that I could be able to do the impossible, and that there was nothing that was limiting me. Ability to build resilience, builds grit. And the more I reflected about it, the more I thought, these are the right ingredients that you need in a team. So I invited a couple of my team members, and they came. We went, did a pilot. We loved it. They loved it, and they didn't love it because I took them. They loved it because of what they were seeing it doing it for themselves. Yeah. And we decided as a customer organization in Safaricom to begin to try it. So right now we are on a 7-week challenge. This is week 4. We have about 60 of our team members. We could have taken so many more, but I mean, it was overly subscribed, but there was only certain capacity that the coaches could be able to handle. So the coaches come in into a Safaricom gym, and I'm really grateful to Safaricom for a great gym. They come in twice a week, then once a week we go to the box in Gigiri. The box is the gym. Okay, that's what they call it. And it has just been inspirational to see the transformation that has happened in my team. And then also, you know, just the beauty of, you know, when you're in a gym, you're not like a boss or anyone. You're just Sylvia, who is struggling to do a pull-up. And you have one of your colleagues who's busy, like, you know, lifting themselves, moving with speed. I'm much older than most of them, I think. So they're much faster than me. So it's also kind of humbling for me. But it just builds a camaraderie and a sense of community. that is very difficult to kind of replicate. So, and we've been able to share that now. So we capture this in videos, we share with the rest of the team. And it's just so nice when we see how everyone is cheering each other on. And there are many transformational stories. Somebody saying, I couldn't skip before, now I can skip. I didn't think I could run for this long. I didn't think I could do a handstand. I didn't think I could do a rope climb. You know, it just creates a new level of energy that is quite unusual.
Can you do a rope climb?
Not yet.
Soon, it's coming soon.
But coming soon, working on it.
Wow.
I'm hoping by the time I finish the 7 weeks, it's actually one of the things that has been frustrating me. So I was talking to my coach even earlier today, and he was telling me, Sylvia, you can do it. Sylvia, just keep your mind at it. So it's good to have a challenge, a personal challenge that I'm working towards. I can't wait to see the end of it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well done and congratulations.
Thank you.
Being able to get to here. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
God bless you so much. Thank you guys for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, share the videos so that everyone can get to hear them. I'll make them downloadable so you can put them on WhatsApp, and they'll be shared on very many different platforms. Take care. Bye-bye.